What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast, coming to you from Laramie, Wyoming, which is where I have been the last couple weeks and where I will be in the future weeks. Done a lot of fishing around here with my girlfriend. Went down to Colorado, fished the Blue River down there, fished Miracle Mile in the North Platte, which is a legendary river, or a legendary section of river, which is between two dams. Big fish there, and a lot of fun. Also went up to the Bighorn Mountains up near Sheridan, Wyoming, which is a lot of fun. So we've been doing a lot of fishing around here, which has been great. It's so different and yet so similar. You caught brown trout, you caught rainbow trout, you caught grayling, you caught all those things, but just there's a different feeling when you're catching it in a different location. When you're on the Miracle Mile, on the North Platte River, it's a legendary river for those who fly fish. People want to make their pilgrimage out to Wyoming. It sounds weird, people want to go to Wyoming mostly. You hear about the Bitterroot, and you hear about the Madison, and you hear about those Montana rivers that are legendary and iconic, thanks to promotion, thanks to a river runs through it, But Wyoming has a stellar reputation as well, and the North Platte has a great reputation of being a place for a lot of fish. A lot of big fish. So fishing that was a lot of fun. It was interesting. You get that first rainbow, and it's a pretty rainbow, and you think, man, this is on the North Platte. I'm fishing the North Platte, and I kind of figured it out. You get that big fish. But there's always that fish that the river could provide that on the first trip, you're probably not going to get it, but you want to. Because anytime you go to a legendary river, you don't want to catch like the average thing, right? You want to get the big fish. You want to get the fish that is why this river is known for what it is. So kind of nice brown trout, 18, 19 inches, but they have brown trout that are in the 26, 28 range. And to get one of those would have been amazing. But then you're getting the fish of the river, and you feel, I don't want to say cheated out of the experience, but if you were to go to every river, catch the fish, I don't know, man. I think it would kind of lose some of there has to be that level of disappointment, right? Otherwise, the river's too easy. You go to the North Platte and you catch one of the biggest fish ever that come out of there. And you go to the White River in Arkansas and you catch one of the biggest fish to come out of there. There's something to hang on to, right? Like I caught a nice brown trout on the White River in Arkansas, but I did not catch. They have fish that are up in the 30-inch range, brown trout. Unbelievable. I hooked into one of those and lost it. And there was a local who was running down the bank after me. He had a net and he was going to help me net the fish. And when it broke off and I just stood there and hung my head, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Son, some people fish this entire river their whole lives, never hook a fish like that." And then he walked away, and I thought, man, should I feel good about that or not? That was the fish, and I didn't get it. So now the White River in Arkansas always has, I'd like to go back. I probably never will because it's not on the way to anywhere else. It's Arkansas. Beautiful river, big fish, but I did not land the fish. On Platte River, as I said, I got a really nice brown trout. It may have pushed 20. I try not to over-exaggerate. I don't want to be one of those guys who always says, oh, it was 24 at least. So I kind of stop at 18, unless it's massive. I'm like, okay, that might be pushing 20, but I don't want to be a guy who overestimates. You see some people with steelhead, and they hold it way out. Oh, that thing was big. That was 36 inches, and it was probably like 30 most. So I like to lowball it if possible. That way I'm not telling people I'm catching fish that are way bigger than they really are. So North Platte, great, had a lot of fun. The interesting thing about it, and I'm not knocking the North Platte, but we caught a couple old fish and some real nice ones. Like I said, 5 or 6 between 16 and 20 inches. And some of them were pretty beat up. One of them, a bird had got a hold of, which that's not a big deal. But the other ones were pretty torn up in the lip area because of hooks. And when you catch a fish that's pretty, and then you look at their mouth and their face, it's just kind of mangled. And it was the worst river for fish damage since I've been on the Pitt River in California. And again, I'm not knocking the North Platte. I'm just making an observation. Same thing with the Pitt River. I love the Pitt River. I've only fished it once, but man, it was so fun. But you'd get these fish that would have these like big sores where there was a barb or there was a messy release or something like that. It caused a little bit more trauma, and so it'd be kind of swollen. It looked like a big old bruise. And then on the North Platte, I saw it. There was one fish that had like part of its like lip was torn off. And just like, man, that's pretty crazy. And of course, anybody who does catch a release, sometimes you have bad releases because you're about to have the hook out, even if it is barbless. The fish moves a little bit, squirms, and so sometimes you just have bad releases. They also, I'm pretty sure, allow treble hooks there for spin casting. But you don't want to just blame those people. But it's just an observation. However it happens. But, big, beautiful old fish, except for the heads that were in some cases kind of mangled in the mouth area because of being previously caught. So, but, a lot of fun, great, beautiful water. And I went to the fly shop here in Laramie, the Four Seasons fly shop. There's two of them here. And the Four Seasons is where I went to. Great fly shop there, good dudes. And they said the river was pretty blown out. And when you go to a river that you've never fished before, if you hear it's blown out, that shouldn't faze you, because if you just look at it as a river, you don't know any difference. You don't know how much further from where you want to fish you are. So if you just look at the water and you think, okay, this is what the river is, then you can start piecing it out a lot better. If you have in the back of your mind or back of your head that it's blown out and that the fishing isn't going to be good, you can start to kind of have the self-fulfilling prophecy that the fishing is not going to be good and you don't fish as well. So we were looking for inside runs, just some slack water, and just pretended that anything beyond about 15 feet didn't exist. Because once you get out 15 feet into a river that's running pretty good, you just get crazy current that you can't cast beyond and you can't cast into. And so you just look for those nice little soft edges on curves in the river where the water is going to be slower, where food is going to be going toward the fish, and you just treat it like that. So if someone says blown out, then, I'm still going to fish it. And some fly shops will tell you, probably not to go there. Some of the rivers, if they're blown out, can be dangerous. So they don't want to send you to this river. Oh, yeah, it's blown out, but, you could probably do it. And then, you're not technically liable, but you did give people information. Or you did say, hey, yeah, go there. And they go there and they have a miserable day, and then it reflects badly on the fly shop. So you have to be a little bit conscious about what the people at the fly shop say and the follow-up questions that you ask. If you go in there and you've never been to a fly shop before, or that fly shop before, and you just say, where should I fish and what are they hitting? You're probably not going to get the A+ information. You're not going to get the in-depth stuff. It's not because they don't like you. It's just because they don't necessarily know you. They're going to give you probably the generic type stuff and maybe save the A and the B stuff for more of the local stuff. But they might give you a really good tip, but you have to follow up with kind of the how and where, what type of water, what type of day. You say, what river is fishing real well? Okay, the North Platte's blown out, but it's fishing pretty well. Or that is, what do I fish? Am I using weight? Am I using a tractor? How do I fish it? Where do I fish it? The lakes are fishing good. Oh, great. So, what flies? And they give you a couple flies. And you don't know how to fish it or where.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
So if you're lake fishing, and we're talking about lake fishing and how use a little chronomid, like a midge or something, and I asked the guy, I said, well, you just like a slow twitch, slow strip, like how you fish it. He said, just throw it and just let it sit as long as you can handle. Oh man. So you cast it out and you just wait for something cruising to come over and take it. But those follow-up questions are important. Right? If someone says the river's blown out, is it blown out and fishable? Like wadeable, not wadeable, wadeable in areas, ask as many questions as you can to get that. And it's always nice going in there to just kind of get a local vibe. You go to this place, and Wyoming's not just about the rivers; it's also about the people. Like what type of person lives here year round, right? When people come to Alaska, and they just get flown to the lodge or the property, or they just get flown, to some lake to go hunt. You don't meet any of the people. Like this is a beautiful place. This is where everybody wants to go to hunt and fish. What type of person lives here, like year round? I know a lot of people don't care at all about that, but for those of you that want the true experience, the real experience, meeting some of these people who year round it, right? What type of person lives here year round? What type of person endures the worst of the year so that they can endure the best of the brochure when the fishing is good or when the hunting is good? So, going into the fly shop and meeting some people, you don't have to spend a lot of money in there, but, buy a couple of the flies, talk to some people. One of the guys at the Four Seasons Fly Shop is a bow hunter. And so we talked about bow hunting. We talked about, putting in tags for deer and stuff. It just makes the experience better. And the next time you go in there, you have someone to chat with a little bit, and that's part of it. When you do any sort of destination stuff, it just makes it so much more fun when you meet some people and you talk to the type of person who lives here year round. That's cool. So, if I were to recommend flies to travel with here in the lower 48 for trout, man, a zebra midge and rubber legs. Those I think they work so well because I always fish them. So it's one of those things where I've caught a ton more fish on that combo than any other combo, probably because I use that combo more than any other combo. But if you have zebra midges in size 18s and 20s in olive and in black, and you have rubber legs, man, that is just... When we were fishing the North Fork of the Tongue River and the Big Horn Mountains, that's what was getting them. Fishing the North Fork a lot lower on the Tongue River, that was the hot fly. So you're talking like upper meadow on the South Fork of the Tongue River too. Like, just a nice little prairie. It just meanders through the meadow. 15, 20, 30 feet wide at the most. Beautiful little windy river, man. Rubber legs. You go down to the prairie level on the big old huge North Platte and rubber legs. On the Blue River in Colorado, you're alpine, you're at 7,000 feet. Rubber legs. California, lower Sacramento River, rubber legs and zebra midge. And a micro May was a good one on the lower Sacramento and the upper Sacramento too. But go to the fly shop there and they'll get you hooked up. But man, I just love fishing rubber legs. Either as an attractor, I don't know if it attracts the fish to the smaller dropper that you're using, or if itself gets a lot of hits too. So I love that combo for sure. As far as other flies go, if you're going dry flies, it's nice to have. I think Griffith Snat is a real nice one. I really like that. Adams is a popular one. I guess on Colorado rivers, it's a really big, really good fly there. But Elk Caddis in black, Griffith's Gnat are good flies to kind of have in your box. Going back to the midges real quick. If I am catching a lot of really small fish, or after about the second really small fish, I'll take the midge off, just because that little midge, even if it is barbless, is going to do a lot more damage to one of those smaller fish. And if you get it down the mouth, then you got to stick the forceps way down the throat of that thing. So be cautious, especially if you're going up to Alaska and you're fishing with something pretty small. Nip fishing for steelhead or trout, you can get a lot of salmon smolt, and so you feel good. It looks like a baby rainbow, but it's a salmon smolt. And so those things are, 6 inches long at the most. A lot of times they're 4 and 5 and 6. You do a lot of damage with some of the smaller flies. So sometimes I'll use the bigger fly just to kind of keep them off. The last thing I want to do is jack them up. So, keep in mind too what you're catching. We're at Little Brooklyn Lake in the Medbo Peaks area, just west of Laramie, and I was catching some smaller fish on the micro midge, on the zebra midge. So I took that off and went to a little bit bigger fly just to kind of keep some of the smaller guys from getting that hook up in their brain. There that is, kind of your travel angling there. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of insight. It's pretty obvious. Go to the fly shop, talk to some people, go to the rivers, have fun, know it's your first time that you've ever fished it, and expect to not catch the fish. And if you don't catch the fish, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's nice to catch fish. You want to catch fish. But, if every fish was legendary and easy, then it wouldn't be as fun. So give you a reason to go back. So even if you do never go back, like I'll probably never go to the White River in Arkansas, but I think we're going to hit the North Platte again in the next little bit here. Going to do a road trip down into Sawtooths in Idaho. Looking forward to fishing some new water there. But I'll have my rubber legs and I will have my zebra midge ready as we travel angle. So we're going to call that episode 98, and that'll do it. Make sure you check out the mediocrealaskan.com for other content. Make sure you check out Caffeine and Kilos, the blog posts I put in there, all different kinds of stuff related to sunglasses, hat history, things like that. And that will do it. We'll talk to you next time.